told you there'd be more videos. Need this for today. Okay, so I am going to Ireland this weekend to do a shoot. I thought whilst I pack my gear into the Peli, it would be maybe an interesting video to show you what goes inside, because I think there's some stuff, unlike or maybe other people who post videos on YouTube, there's some stuff in here that you might not be expecting. Let's pack a bag. You can see the edge of my light. That's not very, is that gone? Film, that's film. Okay, so I'm gonna pack the case. It's actually a Peli Storm iM2500. And the reason I bought this one is because it's supposed to be the perfect size to be a carry-on, apparently. It won't go right now, it won't go EasyJet. It's fairly hefty, but more importantly, it's supposed to be weatherproof, dust sealed, and you're supposed to be able to like drive a car over it. I haven't tested the car, but I have pulled this along in a pretty big rainstorm through Kendal, and all my kit inside stayed totally dry. I also bought a Trek Pack divider system for the inside, which comes as these giant sheets, and then you get like a cutting tool to cut them down so that you can make the shape exactly the right size for your gear. As well as being all crush proof and waterproof, it's actually got these little wheels on the bottom as well, and an extendable carry handle pull along thing. Main body is my Canon R5, and the eagle-eyed of you will have already noticed this is not it. I'm actually shooting on it, so I'm just going to hang on to this but pretend it's the R5. I like the R5 because it does 422 10-bit colour, it's got 120 frames per second, it's 45 megapixel, 20 frames a second for stills, and that means I can capture both photos and videos straight out of one body. It's a great camera, I'm really enjoying shooting it. The second body might be a bit of a surprise to you because this is quite an old camera. This is the Canon 77D. It's a DSLR, it's the camera I used to first start filming YouTube videos back when we made mountain biking videos. And I bought the 77D so that we could kind of make better quality videos. At the time, this was quite a good camera. It's got the flip screen and it shoots 1080p. I can still get HD footage from it, although I'm very rarely using this to shoot any video at all. The R5 is the main driver for video. This is a backup camera. I quite like to build in redundancy into the kit so that if something breaks, I've got a backup to get me out of the situation. Since this kit primarily needs to shoot for social media, the 77 handling 1080p is perfectly fine for that. It's not something that I would take to do the main lifting of any job, but as a redundant backup camera in case the R5 fails, it's handy to have. Now for lenses, for photos and videos I'm taking the Sigma 24-70, and for video I'm taking the lens I'm shooting on right now, which is the 15-35, it's the Canon RF mount. This is an EF mount, that is an RF mount. So I'm running two separate systems still, just purely because I can't afford to upgrade all of my lenses at the minute. This is still a decent enough lens to get the photos that I need, and despite it being an EF mount, I can still use it because I have the EF to RF adapter. So I just throw the adapter straight onto the R5 and then I can use all of my EF glass still, whilst I save up to upgrade it to the RF stuff, which is part of my master plan. And there's redundancy in lenses too, because not only do I take those two lenses, I take an RF 16mm, an RF 50mm and an EF 50mm. So that way I can capture any video and any stills, just in case I drop the 15-35 and break it, or I drop the 24-70 and it shatters. I've got redundancy in lenses as well. And for paid shoots, it's something that I always make sure I have. If I'm just heading out to capture stuff for myself, I probably wouldn't bother. But if it's a paying client, the last thing I want to do is walk away from that job feeling like I haven't captured it and need to reorganise, especially if it's in another country. I've got to travel like 10 hours to get to. And finally for lenses, it's the 70-200. Now for the job that I'm headed to for social media content, this is unlikely to be needed, But if I have to photograph something without being able to get close to it, I'll break the 70-200 out and I'll make sure I can capture it that way. The only other major stuff that I take is a set of GoPros and mounts. So I take a Hero Black 10 and a Max. These are both really just kind of put somewhere so that I can capture time lapses or any content. Proper audio is key. So for the social media stuff, I take the Rode Wireless Go 2s. And finally, it's batteries and cards, and mini lights, and things like that. I do take a drone. I do take a set of Aperture Amaran 60XS, I think, the lights that I'm using right now, and headphones and all that sort of thing, but it doesn't live in a case. That goes in a separate bag that I can leave in the back of the car and then use if I need to. The only other thing worth mentioning is that I recently forgot a tripod for a shoot. Now thankfully I didn't actually need it for that shoot, but I thought I'd packed it and I hadn't. I'd left it by the back door when I left. So I've actually written down the kit that I need on these little slips, and these now live inside the case so that I can tick the items off as I pack them, and then I can check on the way back that I've still got everything by ticking it off again. And in that way I'm not forgetting any important kit, and I'm also not leaving anything on the job. So maybe it's worth writing down all your kit that you usually take on a shoot into a list and keeping it in whatever bag or case it is that you use, so that you can guarantee that you're never going to forget something. And with all that, that is case closed. Some upgrades planned in 2025, but I'm curious to know what you would upgrade first. Is it the 77D or is it the EF glass to RF glass? Let me know in the comments, and thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.